Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning from wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here. If you're live with us, please let me know in the comments. I already see my friend Marcus. Hello, you got your popcorn? Hey, I don't know. I wasn't gonna say this on my live stream, but I can speak well. I was on the Marcus live stream this afternoon, and we were talking about the languages that we speak, and I can speak well like Dory. I'm not gonna show you right now, but I can. Hey, Marcus. So thank you so much for being here, and all of our friends. If you're watching the replay, I am thankful for that. Make sure that you let me know as well in the comments so I can send you some virtual popcorn. And today, if you have been tracking with us, I can't believe September is almost gone, but I've been talking about this little word, avoda, a seamless life of work, worship, and service. A Hebrew word. I love Hebrew words. And, in exploring this word, I've been having guests that they know all about it, and not just the meaning of the word, but they represent what this word means. And today it's not the exception. I have a really, really awesome guest that I absolutely adore, Pastor Hanna White. She is the Chief Creative Officer from Village Heights Church here in Houston, Texas, and a member of the board of directors of the Get Together, a nonprofit organization that my husband and I are also part of, and we just have a heart for that. And she's a mom, and she's a wife, and she does all the things. So she will share with us how she integrates her business skills with her faith, and how can we all that too. We can do that too. So she's going to give us a couple of tips, and hopefully you'll learn something from our conversation. So Marcus, maybe I will surprise you at some point during the stream. Maybe so. Stay tuned. This is just my hook for keeping you on the live stream. But without any further ado, here is my friend Hanna White. Hello.
Hello, Anna. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is such an honor, and I'm so excited to talk about Avoda. I know that that is something you and Mickey not only love to talk about, but love to live out.
I
Um,
do.
I've learned so much from you guys, just getting to be your friend and getting to live life with you. So this is such an honor to get to chat tonight.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking time of your day to be
Oh yeah.
here and share about it. So because not only want to talk about the get together, which I love, but I want to for our friends to get to know you, because you are
Mm.
also a person that I admire, and I feel that you're so gifted. You are
Oh my
so
gosh.
gifted, and the fact that you are a lady and a co-pastor,
Mhm.
that is a big deal.
It is a
so
big deal.
so,
Uh,
would you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your superpower, and all the things
sure.
that you do?
Sure. So you did say I'm a wife and a mom. Yes, I'm a wife, the wife of Bill and the mom of Gage and Declan. Our oldest just started middle school this year. So I feel like I've moved from that young mom phase to like the old mom phase, like they're not little babies anymore.
Right, right.
So it's just a whole new season for us in our house. But we planted Village Heights almost 8 years ago. And you're right. I am a female pastor who is married to a male pastor. And the joke for us is always like, if we were both doctors, nobody would ask, like, how do we both practice medicine at the same hospital? But somehow being a pastor married to a pastor, it just works. We know our
Right.
lanes and we stay in our lanes. So that works really well for us.
Yes, yes. Well, I appreciate that you make that clarification. Just just for the people out there.
Yes.
And Philip, you're here too. He has a YouTube channel too that he's
Oh, cool.
starting up, and he shares a lot of Bible stories. He's a really great storyteller. Um,
That's
and
awesome.
Marcus is saying hi to Philip. Thank you so much, guys, here. So, with the conversation as we're starting, right, there's also challenges on
Mhm.
being a follower of Christ and being a businesswoman and being
Yeah.
God's business.
Yeah.
Um, how can you tell us about that combination? Because you are involved in both worlds, and it's sometimes
Right.
people just tend to think, well, if you're in business, you can be doing ministry, and vice versa, which is
Right.
silly. But tell us about that.
Right. So at our church, we have this principle, this core value. Our core values are to be Christ centered, community crafted, and audaciously generous. And so we use that core value of audacious generosity to talk about the holistic approach to generosity. Like anyone can be generous, right? Like we
Mhm.
can check that box so easily. But if we are audaciously generous, that means we're looking for opportunities to invest our time, our talent, and our treasure. So, yes, it's giving monetarily. Like, of course, that just makes sense. But what are the ways where you have extra time or you have unique talents, you have unique skills, abilities that God has gifted you with? How can you take those things and use them for the kingdom? So, for me, it just seems so natural, right? Like you're a pastor, you're in ministry, of course, but there are times away from the office, for lack of a better term, that I'm doing ministry just because I'm a Christ follower. It's not because of my
Mhm.
job, it's not because of my occupation, my calling. It's specifically because I love Jesus. And so he is compelling me to do this thing. So I
Mhm.
think for me, what's been so special about serving on the board at the get together is that is one of those ways. I'm not on the board because I'm a local pastor. Like that looks good on a resume, right? But I'm
Mhm.
on the board because I believe in what we're doing and I believe in this organization. And so investing my time, investing my talents, investing my network in that Christ centered organization allows me to experience that audaciously generous lifestyle. And I think that
Mhm.
that's something God has for every single one of us, right? Like, I am
Mhm.
not gifted in accounting. There is no reality in which I should be left alone with numbers and trusted to manage them. But I have friends who are that really, really are like these gifted, brilliant, like mathematician minded
Mhm.
people. And I'm like, great, God has
Yeah.
gifted you for that. So,
Mhm.
how can you find a way to use that for the kingdom? So, you can be in your office on a Tuesday, crunching away at numbers and serve the kingdom well because it's not an action, it's an attitude, right? Service is
Uh-huh.
not what we're doing, it's the reason
Mhm.
behind why we're doing it.
Mhm.
So, I think that ministry gets a bad rap sometimes that we
Yeah.
reserve it just for the people who are vocationally doing that or
Yeah.
vocationally gifted to do that, when really it's if Jesus lives in your heart, you should have a way to do ministry every single day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Come on. You just nailed it right there.
So good.
Yes, it's so good because, like you said, it's sometimes even people in the industry, in any industry, get the bad rap about like, yeah, I'm just working and I go to church on Sundays. And
Right.
then the people in ministry gets the bad rap because
Mhm.
yeah, they're doing ministry all the time, but they don't work.
Right. 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 We only work 1 day a week. Pastors just show
Right.
up on Sundays, and that's the only day we work, so it's not a big deal.
That's right. That's right. So you mentioned the get together and the board.
Mhm.
So for our friends that are out there, and can you explain in the most basic way what the get together is?
Sure. So the get together is a holistic approach to utilizing your network for kingdom good. So, our bread and butter, the main thing that we do is once a month, we come together for lunch and we have partner ministries that we have vetted, and we use those partner ministries to practice exactly what we're talking about, Anna, to practice that Avoda living. where we look for opportunities to go, hey, these are the people I know. Let me match that with the need of this nonprofit. So we get to, this season, we're partnering with 10 different partner ministries that are in various different lanes, if you will. So we have
Mhm.
organizations that are fighting human trafficking, organizations that are fighting childhood cancer, organizations that are partnering with women who were recently incarcerated to help them train to do something they've never been able to do before, like a marathon. So we just have these different avenues, different approaches for those of us who are looking for opportunities to use our business acumen, to use our networking abilities to invest back into the kingdom. So what's so
Mhm.
special about it is you don't have to go and hunt down worthy nonprofits. Like you don't have to
Mhm.
go and find, it's so hard to like, you're Googling like nonprofit Houston, nonprofit, fill in the name of my city. And you're not really sure, is this one worth giving to? How are their dollars spent? What are they going to do with my money? What are they going to do? What are the expectations? What are they going to do with my time? We've done that for you. The Get Together has pre-vetted worthy nonprofits that are Christ-centered, that we can put our stamp of approval on and go, they're doing good work and they're
Mhm.
working really hard. And a lot of times they're a small shop, they're less than 5 staff members. And so they really are doing so many things. And so
Yeah.
those of us in the business world get to come in and cheer them on, partner with them, look for opportunities to meet specific physical needs, look for opportunities to meet volunteer needs, connect them with the right people. And so in that 90-minute lunch once a month, we've impacted 10 nonprofits in powerful, meaningful ways so
Mhm.
that then we get to see our whole city revolutionized. And nobody went to their church. Nobody,
Mhm.
sat through a sermon. Like, that's great. Do that. Like, hello, I'm a pastor. Show up to church on
Yeah.
Sunday, get
Right.
involved in your church. But this is like the next step, right? Like this is the
Mhm.
icing on the cake where you're
Yeah.
you're at church and you feel like God is speaking to you and telling you to do something different with your life or calling you out for a specific purpose. Well, then
Mhm.
you come to the get together and you go, aha, like you make the connection of God was wanting
Yeah.
me to do something. And now these people have given me the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. And also, because I've been there, when you come and you don't know that calling, you can
Yes,
identify your call like, oh, wait a minute, I could do this. You want
absolutely.
to serve, you want to help out, but you don't know how.
Right.
And so it's a great place to start. And you can do like a big thing or just a small
Hmm.
thing. And so that's one of the things that I love also about the get together. So, as the name says it, it's because we all get together. And there's
Right.
this particular word, network, that
Mm,
happens a lot or is said throughout the launch the whole
hmm.
time. And when we see the promotions, it's the word network.
Hmm.
How would you say that the networking is carrying on the Great Commission? What's in for everybody, as well as the nonprofits, as the business people, everybody that is involved in there? What is it? What's happening with the networking?
Well, I think from like a biblical perspective, if we wanted to zoom out and go, I'm a Christ follower. What does networking have to do with my faith journey? Me as an individual seeking Christ, how does that impact my faith journey? Because when we think of networking, we think of like a chamber of commerce meeting or, something like that where we're coming and we're just shaking hands and meeting people. But what we've done is we've looked into what we really are doing is we're looking into that scripture in Galatians 6 that says, bear one another's burdens, or some translations say, carry one another's burdens. And then what's the next part? And so fulfill the law of Christ.
Mhm.
So that when
Mhm.
Christ is calling out to us and he says, this is my command, if we tie those two together, right? This is my command, love one
Mhm.
another as I have loved you. And
Mhm.
then in Galatians, we read, carry one another's burdens. And that's how you do that. That's how you fulfill what God is calling
Yeah.
you to do. So in our carrying, in our bearing, that's the Greek word is bastazos,
Mhm.
and it lends you to believe it's something to do with your hands, right? So
Mhm.
even if we take it at like a very practical level, that Greek word means to like put your hands onto something and physically carry it, like physically
Mhm.
get an
Right.
action. And the only way you can do that is in getting to know someone. You don't know their
Mhm.
burdens that you can lift and carry unless you are in relationship with them. And so I think it's so cool if you take that picture of carrying and using that Greek analogy of using your hands. What's the first thing you do at a networking event? You put your
Yeah.
hand out to shake
Yeah.
somebody's hand. That
Yeah.
in getting to know someone, in getting to put your hands into their life, you are fulfilling the law of Christ. You are completing what he's told you to do in loving others the way that he loves you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was so good.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, thank you
I'm
too.
such a, visual learner, and
Mm,
I love when you that I'm not gonna forget that. You know,
yeah.
I already forgot the word, the Greek word, but I'm not gonna forget that. When I meet somebody, I'm
Hmm.
helping them to
Yes.
carry,
Yeah.
the burdens, and because we all have them,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's so much that we can easily miss in scripture because English is so limiting. Like as hard as it is, if you've
Right.
ever spoke another language and then try to learn English, it's almost impossible, ridiculous and doesn't make sense most of the time. But yet still so limiting that when and you even said it when we first got on, like when you go back to the Hebrew, to the Greek, one word can have such depth and breadth that we miss when we're saying like carry one another's burdens. Like we think, oh, it's a pail full of burdens, but it really scripture intended so much more for that. It really is for us to get into the mess with one another and really be in relationship. And that
Yeah.
only happens when you network, when you get to know
That's
other people, you put
mhm,
yourself in uncomfortable situations so that
mhm.
you can create a comfortable relationship.
Oh, that's so good.
Mhm.
I have a question here from Fishstick USA. Hannah, would you consider yourself a bivocational minister?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I have been bivocational in the past, meaning like I
Mhm.
took a paycheck from another job and volunteered at my church as a pastor because we are church planners. So that was very much the journey early on to get this baby up and walking.
Yeah.
Now I view it more as this is my holistic ministry
Mhm.
that I get to pastor on Sundays. I get to pastor anytime I'm with someone from Village Heights, but that beyond those people that God has allowed me to shepherd, that there are other opportunities for me to lead and to minister and to invest into what God's doing in our city. So, yes and no, if that's a good answer.
I think so. I think so. And he's also saying your ministry sounds so good. And he had to glance at the
Oh,
website.
awesome.
So I put the link in the comments also for
Cool.
everybody else to check it out. Village Heights Church and here in Houston. And he
Yes.
also asked, how did you find about Hannah? Well, she's
Ah,
famous. She's
oh
pretty
my
famous
gosh.
in our world. So exactly through the get together, and
Yeah.
this is a great question because um it's part of the networking,
Hmm.
and getting to know just what you just
Yeah.
explained. We know each other, and we're there once a month, and
Hmm.
we have the same heart for all these ministries and
Yeah.
getting to know people. And my viewers hear me talk a lot about temperaments because I'm very passionate about learning temperaments, especially from this book that I read. And I identify as a yellow, meaning that I love people. I love to talk.
Yes.
And I have the suspicious that you are a yellow as well.
Oh my gosh. That's so
And
sweet.
you eh, Hannah does a lot of or has done some of the MC at the get together, and you guys,
Yeah.
she is so awesome, so
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
I love it. She's funny and very creative, and
You're
I
so
love how
sweet.
you engage people to actually get to break that, because not everybody in the room are yellows. There's some blues and some reds that are like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't, and
Hmm.
you are so inviting. So yeah, one of these days I want to go to your church and see.
Yes! Anna, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right though. We do have a lot of different personalities and temperaments just because the room at the get together is so diverse. Like
Yeah.
it's all business people,
Mhm.
but they're serving, working in such different areas that it
Right.
really is just like a kaleidoscope of people in the room. But my theory is always like if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. Like
Yeah.
if you don't have joy, nobody wants to do what you're doing if you make it look miserable. So if you
Mhm.
make Jesus look miserable, if you make following him look miserable, nobody wants to do that. So we got to
Exactly.
be like real people
Yeah.
having fun and enjoying what God has blessed us with, even in the
Yes.
midst of chaos, even in the midst of brokenness, even in the
Mhm.
midst of darkness.
Yeah.
There is still joy. There is still hope. There is still light for us to share with everyone around us.
That's
So
right.
I love being at the get together
Yeah.
just because our friend Catherine, who's another board member, she always says it's a room full of warm leads. So it's a
Oh.
room that you walk into, not
Mhm.
having to wonder who is going to say yes to what I'm asking. You're
Mhm.
walking into a room going, everyone here wants to say yes. They just don't know which question they're going to say yes to yet.
Yes, that's right, and this is the big thing also because I've been in another events where they're talking, there's a nonprofit trying to ask for help, but it sometimes the me as audience, I'm like, oh, I wish I could help, but I don't have the means to do that, or
Hmm.
I don't think I can do that. I can't volunteer doing that because I
Mm.
either don't have the skill or the talent or the time or whatever. And I think about my case when I first started going to the get together, I was a housewife. And I was like, when my husband told me it's for business people, I'm like, well, I don't have a place there because I'm just a housewife. And then,
Just a
you get to meet,
housewife, meaning you're
right.
running a multi-billion faceted
Well, that
conglomerate.
was back then. Now I'm the CEO of the Zugari House.
That's right.
but um, but even at that, when the needs were presented and they needed something, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I have that in my garage and I don't use it.
Yeah.
So I had something to give, even though in my thinking I was like, I'm just gonna sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
But
Which you
there.
did great at, but also you found a need to meet. Yeah. You just
Thank
never
you.
know
Yeah.
what's going to be presented. And so you're right. You can go, "Oh, I have that sitting in my garage," or "I can buy that right now on Amazon and ship it straight to them and that's so easy." Or, "You know what? I know a person who
Mhm.
owns a print shop, car dealership, like whatever, this random thing that they need. I know a person that might be able to do that for them or my office is getting rid of this or we have that." There's just so many ways that you don't even expect to be able to support the
You're
great
right.
work that God is doing across our city. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's in front of you and you're like, whoa, I can do
That
that. Cool.
yes, yes. And there's it to me it's a lot of fun, and
Mhm.
I work from home and I just go to drop off my daughter from school and home, right? So
Mhm.
once a month I get to put on earrings and a pretty dress and go to the city. So
Go to the city. There you go. I
yes.
love it. I love it.
So I love being or looking forward, during the season that the get together
Mhm.
it's on because I get to do that. And
Yeah.
again, I've met so many people
Mhm.
and I've heard so many stories because
Oh, yeah.
there's that thing too that you think you are going to help and minister to
Mhm.
people there, and then you're leaving like, whoa, what happened? I just got
Yes.
ministered. Like
Yes.
got moved and something happened in my life because of what just heard,
Yeah,
right?
we talk about that a lot in board meetings that from the outside looking in, people would assume that our target audience or the people that we're trying to meet and connect with the most are nonprofits. And that's actually not what it is. Nonprofits are the tool that we use
Mhm.
to then connect with our target audience, which is the business person who's looking for more on their faith journey or just kind of wandering and asking these questions of like, what does God have for me? What's next in my life? How can I do more to support the kingdom? I'm only a fill in the blank with whatever they
Mhm.
would title their profession as. Like, I'm only a housewife.
Mhm.
I'm only a accountant. I'm only
Mhm.
a lawyer. I'm only a realtor. I'm only a coach. Like whatever their job is, they think that's it and that's what describes them. When God's looking down and going, only you have
Mhm.
so much more that I have put inside of you on purpose. And then you get into this room and you go, that's why, God, I see now what you're doing in and through me that has nothing to do with me. I'm just the conduit.
Mhm.
Tony Evans, in his commentary, describes being a conduit rather than a cul-de-sac. Being a conduit for the things of God to flow through you, rather than a
Mhm.
cul-de-sac where the things of God are just
Just
circling
say,
around
yeah.
and have no way to get out. And I just think that's such a beautiful analogy to envision and to imagine that all of us were created as this system in which God can flow things through, not
Mhm.
end with us.
Yeah, that's crazy and
Mm,
amazing, and it's an opportunity, like I said, not just to for us to give, but also to receive. And
yes.
then there's another one more thing that I need to brag about.
Oh my
It's
gosh, yes.
the speakers. I've learned so much about my business, how
Mhm,
to do my elevator speech,
mhm.
uh, how to use podcasting, how to like, there's so
Yep,
much value also for a business person that, you get through these luncheons. Can you tell us a
yeah.
little bit more about that?
I think we have had, especially last season, I'm thinking of in particular, just an incredible string of speakers. I think of our friend who owns Dig World, that really
Oh,
cool amusement park for kids where they get to like drive bulldozers and backhoes and stuff. So he came and he spoke and had this beautifully compelling story that was just
mhm,
so impactful and so amazing and so profound, and not even from like a Christ-centered perspective, which was very much there, but
mhm,
just like his business acumen was so
yeah.
spot on, and he saw a need and met a need and then grew this business. And then in the end, he invited us all to come, and we my took my kids to
You
Dig
did.
World, and it was such a fun experience. Like I
Yeah.
loved it and my
Right.
kids loved it. And the whole staff at Dig World, it was like a Chick-fil-A experience, where like
Uh-huh.
all of the staff was so loving and so kind and so attentive and so knowledgeable. And it
Mhm.
was just so evident that
Yeah.
everything he had talked about in our get together lunch, in that 20, 30 minutes that he had to speak to us, it was very evident as you walked
Mhm,
through the park, getting to
mhm,
see everything
mhm,
he said was true. And so this season is beginning next Wednesday. And what's really special about this event is because it's our launch for the season, but also because we're celebrating our 20th anniversary as an organization. We're going to do something a little bit different this time around where we have a panel instead of just one specific keynote speaker. We have a panel of 4 experts who are going to talk to us about AI and
mhm.
integrating AI into regular practices. So, like one of our panelists, Shahara, she's a lawyer who uses robots to like do stuff. Like she's
What?
using AI to like organize
Mhm,
things in her office and to kind of create schedules and help, with sending like quick emails to other people. So she's just found this way
mhm.
to take all of the brilliance in her mind and use it more efficiently. So
Wow.
she's just one of the 4 panelists. And so our hope is that as we are looking into the future, right, we're celebrating the 20 years we had prior,
Mhm.
but we've still got 20 years ahead of us that we're planning
Right.
for. Like we've got more to do, more to change, more to see happen in our city. And so because of that, this whole season is going to be themed around unlocking the future. And so
Mhm,
that first kickoff lunch next week, we thought if we're going to talk about the future, we've got to talk about artificial intelligence. We've got to be able to talk about
mhm.
what are we doing with these robots and how can
Yeah.
we use them to our benefit so that we're working smarter, not harder,
Mhm.
which is a kingdom mindset.
Yeah.
That we want people to look into our businesses and look into our lives and go, I didn't even think of that. Like, that's so creative. That's so full of wisdom. That's helped you become so much more efficient to where Christians are doing business better
Yeah.
because we are Christians. It's not
Yeah.
because we want to just skate by and go, God will take care of the rest. We're going to work like it depends on us, and we're going to pray like it depends on God, and we're going to watch what he does in the in between.
That's right. That's right. I
Mm.
love it. Marcus says there's always more to do. That's right,
Yes.
friend. And so hold on one second. I need to pull out my stuff here. Technology. Don't. Okay. Just say it one more time. What are we celebrating at the get together again?
Our 20th anniversary. There we go.
Yay!
Yeah, that's awesome.
I just wanted an excuse to throw confetti.
Yeah, anytime you can throw confetti, throw
Right?
confetti. Yeah.
Yeah, so friends, again, you're gonna find the links on where to contact Hannah, or how to get directions to get to her church and
Yeah.
visit and hopefully stay.
Yeah.
And also for the get together, so you can still go to this website and
Mhm.
register for the luncheon on next Wednesday. We
Mhm.
would love to see you there. So
Yes.
get your ticket now, and
Mm.
because again, I am super excited about what we're going to learn this coming Wednesday, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. So time flies when you're having fun, but
Yes.
always for my guest I have this little fun thing. I think it's fun. Hopefully you do too. The rapid fire questions. Are you up for
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
I don't know what the wheel is going to ask, so it could be, I don't
The
know.
wheel is in charge.
All right, here we go. Here comes. We're gonna do 5 rapid fire questions, and friends, we want you to participate in the chat. So, feel free to respond as well. What is one ability that you believe everybody should possess?
Kindness.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. Let's see. Next one. If you could invite 3 fictional characters from movies, TV, or books to a networking event, who would they be?
Oh man, do you remember the show Parks and Rec? I
Uh-huh.
am the real live version of Leslie Knope. So any compilation of like the Parks and Rec crew, I would love to just sit down and hang out with them.
That's a good one. Yeah, that would be fun networking with them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Early
Oh my
bird.
gosh, night owl, big time night owl.
Really?
Our whole house is night owls, so it's
Wow.
miserable getting my kids up for school every day.
So you're saying that you don't have a service at 7 a.m. in your church?
No, you got to find a different church.
Christmas or Easter?
¿Por qué no los dos?
It could be. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
both.
Both.
Can't have one without the other.
There you go. Oh my gosh, you're such a pastor. Describe
Uh,
yourself in one word.
ridiculous.
Love it.
Ridiculous.
Love it. Did you know that Ginger took the test also for the temperament, and she's a yellow too.
Of course
We,
she
we
is.
call each other our yellow fellas.
There you go. I'm in the club now.
Yes. And last one, name one thing you have overpaid.
My groceries today. Like
Goodness.
my groceries every day for the last however many months we've been
Oh
living in
my
inflation.
gosh. I'm like, can you people stop eating? I
I
mean,
know.
seriously. And
I know.
this is I was so mad. I'm just gonna share it right here,
Let's
right
hear it.
now.
Let's hear it.
I went to Walmart today. I paid twice for a mat that I needed for my sink.
Mhm.
I left it there. Yeah, I just looked at the receipt and I'm like, "Where's the mat? Where's the mat?" And I'm like, "Oh, I left it there." So I pull out the receipt to go and claim it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, I paid twice for this."
Oh my gosh, paid 2 times for 0 items. Goodness gracious.
Oh, Philip says, "I enjoyed this." Nice. Thank you, Philip. Thank
So
you so much.
sweet.
Marcus, thank you so much for being here. And friends, if you're watching the replay again, thank you for your kindness.
Yes.
And we truly, hopefully, invite you to be with us in person at the get
Yes.
together next Wednesday. And
Yes.
again, if you want to get a hold of Hannah and visit her church, so let me pull it out right here.
There you
But it's
go.
also going to be in the show notes. And if you have any questions, any comments, or compliments, if you have any complaints, just pray about those. Okay.
Yes.
But I want to leave you with one little idea that whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for man. Colossians 3:23.
So
And
good.
friends, I hope and pray that you have an amazing rest of the week. And Hannah, thank you so,
Oh my
so
gosh.
much for doing
Thank
this.
you. This was a blast.
Thank you. All
Yeah.
right, friends. I will see you here next Thursday with another amazing guest, but hopefully I'll see you before on Wednesday. Don't forget to
Yes.
get to
September 27th. Can't wait to hug you in person, Anna.
there you go. Oh, Marcus, are you serious?
He's
Is that
wanting it. He wants to
yeah.
hear it.
Okay, friends. I will see you next week.
So good.
Bye, Marcus. Bye, everybody. Bye
Bye.
bye.